to.
Oh, never mind. I'm like, wait, I saw the click and I was like, wait a minute. I'm not ready for that to be out.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Hey, everybody. Of course, you caught us in the middle of some behind the scenes conversation. Jheanelle's like, I don't want everybody to know that. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, camera. So I'm excited to do this. I've been waiting to have this conversation with you for a while because you've just been like in super expansion mode. Mm-hmm. And I think this is going to be a powerful conversation for everybody who's hanging out with us. So I'm going to tell you right now, Tommy, like we in here, we out here. If you're listening, you want to share this with friends and colleagues, especially if they're business owners or even just people who have really big, bold, audacious dreams. Because in my community, and what you're going to learn from Jheanelle is we believe that speed does not mean that it's not foundationally stable. Mm-hmm. We believe that we could have big goals, we can hit big revenue goals, we can make money really, really fast and still have stable family lives, still have stable businesses. Jheanelle was just sharing that she just went on vacation and she's been swimming and doing all kinds of things. So we're not like at our computers just tied down to them, work to hit these kind of goals. And that's what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about this journey to transformation and what it means to calibrate yourself from the inside out to whatever your next highest level is. For all of you, it's going to be something different. So before we dive into the conversation, I'm super excited about Jheanelle. Tell these folks who you are and who you're being in the world.
Sure. So I am Jheanelle. Hello, everyone. I am a psychic astrologer and frequency healer, and I help women to identify their soul's mission for this lifetime and help them to uncover the roadmap on how to get there so that they can ultimately create the personal and professional growth and fulfillment that they desire. I want everyone to live their best lives, whatever that looks like for them as an individual. And I help them to do that through astrology and all my magical superpowers that I have going on.
Love it, love it, love it. So here's why I love this. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons, and we're going to get into some of that stuff too when we talk about embodiment. But the main reason is whenever I post a client transformation and I'm like, they just sold a package for $100,000 or they had $100,000 week, month, a day. The first question is there's always one person who comes in the comments and they're like, well, what does she do? Because they're like in their own head. Well, what I do doesn't have to do with money or business. And so Jheanelle just told you that what she does doesn't have anything to do with money or business. Now, there's byproducts of what she does as her clients grow. Some of those things do transform for them, but she just said she's a psychic astrologer. So I need y'all to like listen in as we talk about this stuff. So I don't know. Let me think about where I want to start this conversation. Let's talk about just this journey. I'm going to let you share where you were. And then what are some of the milestone goals that you hit or the revenue that you hit since we began working with each other?
As you mentioned, I'm a psychic astrologer, which I love that you talked about that because people think that you can like only be a business coach to make a lot of money. So even that has been a belief that has shifted over the years. But when I came to you in December, I had hit my first 6-figure year after maybe like 2 years in business. 2 or 3 years. I don't even know. But when I did that, because, that was such like the thing that you do in service, it's like the coveted 6-figure year. And when I did it, I was like, oh, that was pretty easy, and doing that in 2020 when the world was kind of upside down and my kids were home. My kids are, well, at the time, 7 and 3. So I have, really little kids. So they were at home. I was doing a distance learning, all the things that I hit that year. And I was like, okay. And when I kind of look back, I was like, wow, that didn't take a long time. And it wasn't that hard. So how far can I really go? Because I've always had this like image of what I wanted to do, but I was a little nervous about admitting it to anyone else outside of my journal because for much of my life, I feel like I've always had really massive goals, and people would always try to bring me back down to reality. And so when I had this big goal for 2021, like you came to like the forefront of like who I needed to work with. And when I told you my goal, you didn't even flinch. I remember you being like, okay. And I was like, oh, she's my person. Like she gets me. And that was only December 2020. So at the end of last year, we're in the middle of the holiday season. And I'm just like, I don't know who I'm going to be working with in 2021, but I know like whoever it is, like this is going to be the person that helps me to get to where I want to go. I was a little nervous because I was like, madam, this is how much you charge? All right, cool. But I was like, all right, this is the person God sent me. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to step out on faith here. I was actually really excited about making that first payment. The second one got me a little nervous because I was like, oh my God, you really committed to this for a year. Like, okay, get your ass to work. And so that was December 2020. And then coming into 2021, I then began the year with my first 6-figure quarter. I had never done that before. Clearly, I just made my first 6-figure year in 2020. So I had my first 6-figure quarter right away. And I was like, oh my gosh, only to then turn around, 30 days later, be celebrating my first 6-figure month. So April was my first 6-figure month, and like right immediately after that first 6-figure quarter. So yes, the expansion has been like
rapid,
unexplainable if you try to put it into words. But yeah, things have moved extremely quickly.
So I want to back up to make sure everybody got that. So Jheanelle came in December. She had just celebrated her first 6-figure year after being in business 2-3 years. Then within the first, I think it was like 60 days, but we're going to call it 90 days of working with me. She created her next 6 figures, which was her first six-figure quarter, which she was celebrating. So that's 6 figures in a 3-month period of time. That was the first quarter of 2021. And then within 30 days of that, she collapsed time again and did her first 6-figure month, but she didn't tell the story right. So here's the deal. She did her 6-figure month in a week.
Yeah.
It was like 5 days-ish that she did 6 figures in the next 30 days. So that's a big freaking deal. And it's a lot of expansion. And so I want to talk about, I think what people don't talk about a lot, Jheanelle, is what does it really take to collapse time in that way and expand? And so I want you to talk about not just, we get there and it's like, oh my gosh, I did it. I'm bad. I did that. Right. Mm-hmm. And we don't really talk about what it felt like to be in expansion mode at that velocity.
Yeah.
During that time.
It was very intense. I cried. Sometimes I would get on the calls and I'd always get on the call like, you guys, I don't like crying in people. Like I never cry in front of people. But I would just get on those calls and I would cry. Just because, again, sometimes it would be out of frustration. But a lot of times it was actually just gratitude. Just gratitude for, like, I couldn't believe it sometimes. I was like, what is happening? So, like, a lot of the times I would just be crying because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so grateful for you all and so grateful for the space and so grateful to Shamika. But it really also involved a lot of
I think we lost you. Let me make sure it's not me that's lost. All right, I'm gonna see if I can
just parts of my.
There you are.
Okay, I can hear and see you. Can you hear and see me?
I can see you now.
Okay. So yes, lots of gratitude, but lots of just letting go of my former self. And I've always been a big dreamer, and I've always been a person that has had a lot of faith. But again, there were parts of me from childhood that would second guess how big I was dreaming or try to bring myself back down to something that seemed manageable or realistic. And so letting go of those old stories was like the hardest, one of the hardest things for me, like realizing that a lot of things I was telling myself wasn't actually true.
Yeah.
And then so also forgiving myself, because then there was a part of me that was like, oh my gosh, you've been holding on to this belief for so long. You could have been further, blah, 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 blah. So forgiving myself, and also allowing myself to be supported, because I've always been the person who has just, done a lot just for myself. Like I remember you asking me if I had a VA and I said no. And you were like looking at me like, what? So allowing myself to be supported, but then also dying a little, forgiving myself, and rewiring a lot of beliefs that just weren't facts.
This is a real powerful conversation to have. Here's why. Because the type of women that I work with, they ain't normal. You ain't normal. I just saw Famira typed, that big energy is messing with technology. That's true. Right? So my ideal clients are they're larger than life. They walk into a room and everything, they shift atmospheres. They're atmosphere shifters. They have something about them, just the frequency that they operate on, even when they're not being their highest level of themselves, it still exists and it's still palpable. And so what happens oftentimes is you will step into a container where you are not allowed to both be big, powerful, badass, brilliant, and yet still be vulnerable enough to get the level of support you need to break through to the next level. So you're pretending. So let's talk about community and what that meant for you to have a space where just because you were having a moment of doubt, no one was looking at you sideways, but still cheering you on.
Yeah, the community has been absolutely amazing. And part of the reason why I wanted to work with you was like a lot of the wins that you shared from your community. And I understand, doing frequency work, that proximity is extremely important. I wanted to be in a space where iron was sharpening iron. I'm like, I need to be in a space where like I'm running with wolves. Like I need to be in a space where I go in there and I'm like blown away by what people are doing, because I've never done it before. Because I know that it's like, light candles, lighting another candle, lighting another, like you catch fire, right? So having these communities has been an absolute godsend, because the life that I wanted to create was normal in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like, so you just sell 30,000 packages? You just make 100,000 in a week? Okay. You know what I mean? Like it was just so normalized in there. And so again, that proximity then helped to make it normal for me, because I just saw everyday people, just other living, breathing human beings who are all so amazing, but we're just all humans, like, and they were just all doing amazing things. And so I was just so inspired by everyone, but then everyone was just, or is, excuse me, because I'm saying was, like I'm not in the community anymore. Everyone is just so forthcoming with like resources and support. Like my assistant now, I found through my power partner inside of the community, and having this assistant has completely changed my business, but even her just freely sharing that with me, because sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to share, and it's not like that at all. And just having people inbox you, hey, are you good today? Or I saw what you did, that's so amazing. And everyone's celebrating each other. It's just like, oh my gosh, I've never experienced anything like this before. And again, it's like everyone is performing at such a high level, but then also has, their own lives. So for everyone to make it a point to celebrate every single person, no matter how big or small their achievement is, it just meant so much. And again, just watching other people do big numbers was just so inspiring. And they're like, yeah, you can do that. Of course you can do that. And I'm like, you're right. I'm going to do it.
I love it. I am just sitting here thinking about, like we talked about, the emotions of going through this, you know, allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to cry, to ask for help. And if you're listening to this, I want you to think about how you're showing up in your life, in your community. Do you have a community where this is possible for you? Right? Or do you have to pretend like nothing ever goes wrong or that you got it and all of that stuff? Because that's not how we expand into our greatness. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things are the first steps in order for you to achieve your next level. If you want to do what Jheanelle did and you want to do $100,000 in a quarter or $100,000 in a month or even a week, after taking an entire year to do $100,000 in a quarter, there is work involved in that. And the first step in this process is it's not something that I made up, but it's embodiment. Right? You have to embody 100% of who you be, not who I am, not who Jheanelle is. We just had this conversation earlier, and I want to have this conversation because I think it's a tough one to have, especially in this transformational space where coaches teach coaches how to be coaches. You know, my clients are across the board. They're not all coaches. I have attorneys, I have financial advisors, I have all kinds of people inside of my community. However, people go learn from people and then they go teach what they learned from that person. And then that person goes and teaches what they learned from that person. And so it's just this. And so what happens is we begin to mimic. Or we begin to look at people and compare them and start to believe that the way that this person is doing it to become successful is the only way that it can be done. And the conversation that we were having before we started this is what happens is you're in comparison mode, but then you're trying to pull off Jhenelle's juice or my juice. And what we do, because we're in our God-given assignment and the full embodiment of who we are created by divine design, we make that crap look easy. Right? How we do what we do, how Jheanelle does what she does, how I do what I do, it looks easy because we are in full embodiment of our God being, of who we are, who God created us to be. I was telling Jheanelle earlier, I said, I'm the full manifestation of possibility. I'm a walking, breathing possibility. It's just who I be. I don't have to think about trying to be that. I don't have to think about what to post. I don't have to think about, you know, well, how do I inspire people to what's possible? I walk in a room and immediately it beckons you to try something that you never thought you could try before. So, Jheanelle, I want you to talk to them about embodiment and for you, because there's elements of yourself you've just started to reveal and release and own 100% that you've been kind of sweeping under the rug.
So I have to say a lot of the embodiment came with a lot of clearing out first. Again, rewriting beliefs, letting go of things from the past, forgiving myself. You know, even with things that I did in business before, you know, things that didn't work, or being scared to invest in, you know, a certain level of coaching because of things that have happened before. So for me, I actually spent like the last quarter, of 2020, just like energetically letting go of things, which made me open to the level of expansion that I have experienced this year. But the embodiment for me, well, it's interesting because I feel like I've grown so much. Like I'm not even the same person I was in December when we first started working together. But I think just, again, being in communities where it's just like whatever you think is off about you or too quirky or too this, too that, like everyone in there is like, no, throw gasoline on that part of you. Like, let's do that. You know, like even me recently started to talk more about, you know, my faith. Despite the fact that I am a psychic astrologer and frequency healer, and you know what that means, because people think that, you know, if you do what I do, that, you know, you don't believe in God, or all these different things. And I'm just out here like, no, like, you know, Jesus is the homie. You know, we talk every day. But, you know, I'm a psychic astrologer. Like, you know, this is what I do. And also just really embodying the God within me and showing up like that and not being scared to be off-putting to people, because I'm like, no, like, you know, God lives within me, and that's the part of myself that I'm choosing to tap into fully and show up as. I'm not going to, you know, shrink to make anyone comfortable anymore. I'm not going to not share my truth because it might be controversial. It's just like, this is completely who I am. And at this point, like, I really don't care who doesn't like any part of me, because they can go. It's totally fine, because I know who God created me to be, and I know that that's in his image, and that's who I'm showing up as.
I love it. Love it. You made me think about this song. I'm not going to sing it. Actually, I'm going to sing it. It's funny. It's not a real song. When you were like, Jesus is the homie, there was this, I was like,
you're going to sing it.
Jonathan Slocum. I think it was Jonathan Slocum. He was like, you know, Jesus, he the homie. We be kicking it all the time.
Oh, now I gotta go find that, because clearly that's my theme song that I didn't know I needed.
I would send it to you.
Please, yes, I need that.
Okay. So here's what I was thinking about. What makes what we do look effortless? What makes you have this ability to transcend time and do what you've never been able to do before, to collapse time, is embodiment. Mm-hmm. Because what happens is you begin to create a business from an effortless place, because you're just being you. And the frequency that is omitted to those you are meant to serve is just powerful, and it calls them in. Mm-hmm. Some of y'all are working too doggone hard. You have the ability to have an extraordinary business that is created from an aligned and effortless place that can create not just overflow, but accelerated overflow. And it comes from this space of simply just being your most brilliant, badass self. Mm-hmm. And I believe that we live in a world that tells you, you can't say that, you know, I'm the best at what I do. That you can't own that, because there's other people that can be just as good as you.
Right.
I love the name of your highest level program, which is Deity Energy.
Yeah.
Because it's the full embodiment of that, right? Mm-hmm. It's God energy. It's God gave me this, and I'm going to abide in it 100% of the time and fully.
Amen.
If you had to, I don't know, share, there's people listening right now, and there's going to be people listening to this on the podcast and people listening to the replay, and they may be in a space where they know they have these big, bold dreams on the inside of them. They know they have millions. They're coded for millions. They know, they just don't know how to calibrate there. They know that, okay, Jheanelle is showing me, because it looks easy, right? They look at you and go, well, she's just a regular old chick. If she can do $100,000 in a month, I can do it too. So they know the possibility. They see the possibility, but they're not quite sure how to get there. And they might be going, okay, well, maybe I can work on it for the next 4 years, or it may take me 2 or 3 years to get there. When you think about who they are and what might be going on in their head, their heart, and their spirit, what do you want to say to them?
There is something that you said. I might misquote you a little bit, but essentially it's that transformation doesn't take time. It takes a decision, something around that. Mm-hmm. And that is like, that's so powerful to me. It doesn't have to take a long time at all. It's just deciding that this is what I'm doing, and then taking off the whatever you've created around it. Okay, it's going to take me 10 years, 5 years, or whatever. Like, no, like, just say this is it and let God work. And you go to work too, right? Because we can pray, we can do all the things, but we also have to show up every day. So yes, I pray, I do all the things, but I am, I'm doing my lives, I'm posting, I'm doing all the things, right? Because, faith without works,
dead. Utterly.
But yeah, making the decision and just taking all the limits off of it, taking all the rules off of it, especially the rules about time. Because time, like, what is that anyway? All we have is right now. And I feel like we think things will take a lot longer than what God is thinking or what our spiritual support team is thinking. Because, like, time doesn't matter to them. It's just like, what are we doing so that we can support you? Like, so we can start opening the doors for you, so we can start clearing out some pathways. So don't put a limit on it. Just, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. This is my desire. And it's mine, period.
I love it.
I have said to people that I would do, like, I knew I was gonna, that $100,000 months minimum would be my new normal. I posted that in December. I decided that in December. And after I did it, I reshared it. So I said it. Like, I said I was gonna go from, I think I made probably like 130 something thousand in 2020. And I was just like, man, I'm like, I need to be doing this on a monthly basis. This is what I desire, and this is it. And it didn't take me any time to do it, because I was so firm and so rooted in my decision.
Yeah. There's a difference between deciding and saying you're going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And the part about decision that most people waver on is the decision. It's the decidedness. When you decide, you cut off all other possibility and opportunity. And what happens is we don't have enough support in order to hold and trust the process, hold the decision.
Yeah.
If I can kind of peel the curtain back behind the scenes, I just remember this moment. You were a week away from filling your event the first time. You doubled your prices and you reached out and you're like, I only have this many people. And I was looking at everything and hearing everything. And I was like, you got plenty of time. Like, you decided it's going to come. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. Just let it work. And so there's this beautiful marriage between this symbiotic nature between community of people that are showing you what's possible, cheering you along, and then you being able to say, what I see with my eyes doesn't match what I know with my heart.
Right.
What do I do next? And most of us are alone in that. And what happens is we go backwards. We go, okay, what I see with my eyes doesn't match what I know. So let me go muck it up. Let me go sell something different. Let me go do some other stuff. Maybe I should be doing this, because we just out there. We're out there alone. And here's the deal. Y'all are brilliant. You've gotten way far doing what you're doing, how you're doing it, Google University, all of that stuff, because you've been able to do that all your life. But to go where you need to go, it's not that long ranger-ish is a rookie mistake. It does not work. It's going to take you way longer to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
am the person who loves having a coach and a mentor. I remember a few years ago, someone was like teasing me about that. They were like, you have a coach for everything. I was like, I sure do. Because I desire support. And again, I like the acceleration. So if I could, be with someone who is or has done what I desire to do, why would I not position myself to be advised by them and be mentored by them and be coached by them? Why would I consciously decide to struggle? Like, no.
The truth is, fear have us out here doing some crazy things.
Yeah.
Right. the made up stories in our head about what could possibly blow up or go wrong, or the failure, and all of those things actually cause us to make decisions
Right.
that actually keep us stuck in a place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why I love that you say that, because when I mentioned a lot of that, like just letting go of old parts of myself, I had to do that in order to be coachable. Instead of being like, oh, this isn't going to work because I did this already. Oh, this isn't going to work because I saw such and such. Oh, this isn't blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, again, whatever was contradictory to where I wanted to go, it had to die. Like I had to cut that part of my arm off, my leg, whatever. Like you have to go because I have decided that this is where I'm going. And so anything that doesn't align with it, I had to say no to. And again, like that's hard sometimes because it requires you to leave your comfort zone and, you know, let go of some people and just shift the way how you move. And it's very uncomfortable. And a lot of times people don't understand the decisions they're making. I know, like, for anyone who does like human design, I'm a manifester. So I am notorious. I just make moves. I don't say nothing to nobody. Right. They don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then so from the outside looking in, it looks like I'm just out here doing whatever. And so, you know, there are people who, you know, would doubt me and people who are like, she doesn't know what she's doing, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, have to quiet everyone's voices, including my own, the parts of myself that would, you can't do this, it's too much, your dream's too big. I had to even quiet myself sometimes. And again, hold that vision. And that is why having you and having the community has been so amazing, because you all would hold my feet to the fire, even if I was like freaking out. Like you saying that, like, oh, you have plenty of time. It's like, in my mind, I'm like, I have 40 minutes. Like, what are you saying? Right? And it was like, for you, like, you just wouldn't go there with me. It was like, no, this is what you decided, remember? So this is what we're doing. And I mean, that's extremely important and just beneficial beyond words. Like that, I think a lot of people don't really understand what holding the vision means. And like, that's really it. Like, you have shared your desire with someone and they're like, okay, so this is what we're doing. You're not going to be able to, you can't veer off. This is it. This is what we're doing.
Right. Right. It's a done deal.
It's done.
There was a point in your 100K week where it could have been a 30K week.
Oh God. Yeah.
And it was because of what we're talking about, right? What you saw with your eyes didn't match the vision that you were holding for yourself.
Right.
And what I loved so much, it was a Sunday. I don't work on Sundays. And I got a message from Jheanelle. I'm about to get teary-eyed because I love when powerful women allow themselves to be supported. And I was like, okay, I knew you had an event. So I was like kind of on alert and kind of looking. And I think I was in the middle of something with somebody and I was like, I gotta hold on. Actually, on Saturday, I was teaching and I was like, hold on, y'all. Jheanelle just made her offer. I need to answer this. So I put you on speakerphone because I was like, you guys might as well get trained. This is what it looks like. But I just remember you saying, hey, this is what's going on. And in that moment, that's when I knew it was done. Because it's the request for the support. I hope you guys are listening. It's the request for the support. At that moment, you had sold about $30,000. And you said, I told myself I was going to reach out no matter what. It was a Sunday. You know what that is, right? That was you opening up your capacity to receive.
Yep.
What really happened wasn't even really about my support. That was you making yourself available for more and whatever that more looked like.
Yeah. I feel I'm not going to cry on here today. Yeah. I mean, man, that's definitely been one of my biggest shifts since working with you, is expanding that capacity to receive, because I am so used to being in the support role, not just in business, but just in life.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like okay, so what's interesting is I remember that Sunday I was going through like a little like back and forth, because there was a part of me that was like on this shoulder, like, it's not working, blah, 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 blah. I told you, because I had tried something different in my business. And then there was another side of me that was like, just chill. Like, we said it was done, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So just relax. Because there was a part of me that wanted to like knock everything over. But then I just remember this like calmness that came over me, and it was like, no, you're good. Like, you're supported. You're fine. And then as the week went on, it turned into a 6-figure week, But at that Sunday, I just was like, no, I remember saying that to my husband too, when I was on my way home. I'm like, I said I was going to do this. I even called my Reiki girl the day before my event. Like, I really, as you said that, like, I really saw, or see now rather, how open I was to support. It was just like, this is what I'm doing. What do I need to get there?
Yeah.
Or anything that's in the way, I just need that to go, because this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this, period. So even when there was that moment of doubt, it went away so quickly because of the level of support that I have.
Yeah.
And even in the group too, I was like, all right, guys, I just need this one more thing. I'm almost done. Please just hold this vision for me, please. And everybody's like, yeah, you got it. You got it. You got it. It's already done. Blah, blah, blah. And it was done.
Yeah. I can't never explain what my community looks like, because I think for people on the outside, it is comparison of what they've been in before. It's not a normal community. And there's no way for me to put in words what happens when you come into covenant agreement with all of us. You just enter a time warp, and all of a sudden, expansion starts happening.
Yeah.
So I love talking about this, because we're talking about calibrating from the inside out, right? We could talk strategy. We could talk about the fact that Jheanelle had an event. She had a virtual event that she did. She had, by the way, she did 6 figures at her event, and it was like 10 people in the room. So I just wanted you guys to know that.
And it was virtual.
Yeah.
And that was a big belief we had to work on too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you came with that one. You were like, okay, I know you know how to do virtual events, and I usually do mine in person. You were like, I don't know if we can make this work. I'm like, oh, girl, yeah. If you can handle an event in person, I can definitely show you how to handle one virtually.
Yeah.
Like nobody's business, and you did it like a boss.
Thank you.
I want to give you one more opportunity to share, because I could talk all day, guys, and I'll talk this like, this is who I am. This is the foundation of what we're building, this legacy dynasty company that I have on, because I want more people to be able to transcend things that they've never done in the area of wealth, and using business and entrepreneurship as that vehicle that shifts their family's wealth code. And so the important part for me is working on the inside game, because the inside game is something you never had access to around you. You haven't had proximity to that, right? You're creating it. You're likely the first in your family who will ever do $100,000 that fast, or have $1 million business. And so that's a passion of mine. And so there's people listening where that's a desire. It's a desire for them to create. So as someone who's on this journey, and who has like blown your own mind with what you even believe was possible for you. And there's a difference between believing it's possible, like in an esoteric kind of way, and this knowing that you have inside of you that you're gonna do it. Like, I'm meant for it. Yeah. I know you knew you were meant for it. But there's always this thing, even with me, like the crap I do, I'm like, wow, did that really just happen? Right? Because I don't have access to what it's supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, just an opportunity to kind of be on a soapbox and speak to somebody's heart and spirit. What you got for them?
It's possible. And I know that sounds just so simple, but or let me share this. So the way how I have been operating in my God power is operating from the belief that I am the exception to the rule. So oftentimes when, we try to figure out why we can't do something, it's because we're using someone else's experience to validate why we can't do something. Like, oh, this person, they've been in business this long, they haven't done this, so I can't, or blah, 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 blah. Move like you are the exception. I've shared this before. I have so many, I guess, different like labels on me, right? That would say that I can't do what I do, how I do it. I'm a woman, I'm Black, I'm a mom of, small kids, I'm a wife, I'm an immigrant. Like, there are just all these different things that, people kind of use to pigeonhole a person. You can't do this because of this. And again, I'm the exception. I didn't always think this way, but that's the space that I'm in now. I am the exception to the rule. And if we can let go of these agreements, whether they're cultural agreements or societal agreements, or even, the beliefs that we have around time, it really opens up everything. Like, take all the chains off. None of the rules apply. None of the rules apply. So just go. Again, find Shamika's my person. Okay. So, having a mentor like Shamika, having a community, I always say I run with wolves, right? Because everyone is performing at such a high level. Having the right mentorship and being in the right community will show you that a lot of the beliefs you have about why you can't do certain things, it's absolute BS. And it's different stories that you've picked up along the way, from childhood, again, family stuff, cultural stuff, things that you've picked up that are not even your own. You don't even really believe them. You don't even know where they really came from. A lot of the things you've never even experienced, but again, you've seen different people go through different things. And so you accept that as your own truth as to why you can't do something. But if you operate like you are the exception to the rule, then none of that applies to you. So just go and find your people who are going to hold your feet to the fire of whatever it is that you say you want to do, no matter how massive your goal is.
I love it. So beautiful. I want to share one thing, and then we'll wrap up. And I wasn't going to make an invitation, but I feel like in this moment I want to. And here is the invitation. It's going to be quite simple. Jheanelle just said, Shamika's my person. And here's what I know. The people that I'm meant to work with, you might be scared, but you might be scared of the investment. Hell, you might be scared of me. But something in your soul is tugging you my direction. So here is the invitation. If you know that you desire to have an extraordinary business from an aligned and effortless place, that place where you get to create millions of dollars simply by being your most powerful, brilliant, badass self, then you want to connect with me. I don't have a little banner because I wasn't planning on doing this. So if you're connected with me on social media, you can message me or inbox me and just say, I'm ready to play a bigger game. If you're not, you can just go to the website, commandmoresales.com, and there's an application button there that you can click. You got to fill out the application. So complete the application. We'll get on a call and talk. and we'll see if you're ready to play a bigger game, because I will hold your feet to the fire and hold you to your most highest self. And just in this moment, I'm feeling like the resonance of this audio that we're creating right now. There are people listening to this where now is the time. You haven't had a space of safety where you can be both powerful, vulnerable. You can be working it out, figuring it out, and still have your crap together as the leader that you are at the same time. That's what this is. That's how we collapse time and rapidly accelerate results. So commandmoresales.com or DM me. That's all I'm going to say about that. I do have a container, opening up a new container of Play Big. We haven't even really talked about that. It's one of the most powerful programs that I have that really allows you to step into leadership of yourself and create results. Pretty much anybody coming through that program will minimum do what they did all last year in this 90-day container in revenue, because it just calls you higher.
Can I just sing the praises of Play Big?
Yes, ma'am.
Because Play Big changed my life. When I went into Play Big, my goal was $60,000, which is like, it makes me kind of laugh a little bit now, because I've expanded so much in my ability to receive that I can't believe that was my goal. I ended up tripling that goal, right?
Yeah.
There was no way that when I first started Play Big, at first I was a little nervous because everyone was calling it like the pressure cooker, and it was like they were talking about how intense it is, and I was kind of like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? I got a little nervous, but oh my gosh, what a life-changing experience. I've never been through anything like that. And it's so interesting because when I first connected with you, I was like, okay, I'm going to get all the strategy, all the things. And then you'll say things like, you just need to be. And I'm like, what? Jamaica, give me the play. And she'll be like, no, you just need to be. And it's my goodness, it really is a program. Although it's about sales, it really is so much transformation that starts from the inside. And I feel like we spent so much time on the inside, way more than I thought we would. And it just oozed out of our pores to the point where it was just like, back to back to back to back to back. And then it's like, even on a week where like I wouldn't make a sale, I'm like, okay, it's fine. Get back in the game. It's fine. Another thing I loved about that program was just the taking radical responsibility. I've never had anyone make me take responsibility like that, because I'm the one, again, who's always like, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this. Or, I could weasel my way out of anything.
Yes, you can talk a good game.
I've got out of a lot of groundings, a lot of punishment, anything. But then it's like you come and Play Big, and it's just like, did you do what you said you were going to do? We don't need to discuss anything else. It's fine, right? And then it's like, oh wow, like, okay. And it's not even for Shamika; it's for yourself.
Yep.
Just being held to, holding yourself to a higher standard, holding yourself to your own word, holding yourself accountable to like what God has shown you, and what, God is just like, look, this is available to you. Like, are you coming or no? It's kind of hard to put into words, but I have that container, the expansion that happens in that container, not just in your business, but just you as a person, is absolutely insane. I can barely find words for it, but I've clearly never gone through anything like that. Like, you've got like almost $200,000 in 90 days. Like,
you're like, where they do that at? Over here?
I was like, I was like, I'm going to make $60,000 in 90 days.
Well, here's the beautiful thing about that, though. That was your stretch of belief in that moment.
Oh,
60K was like, okay, in 90 days, I think I could do 60K.
Mm-hmm.
And then, boom, you step into the container and you're almost $200,000 when you look said and done.
And again, because it was just like, well, how much further can I go? Because again, you're running with wolves. You're in the pack. Everyone's going. So it's just like, oh, I can't stop. I gotta keep going too. You know, I don't want to be behind, or I don't want to be, you know, the one that's lagging in the back. So it's just like, just the way how it moves you energetically, and not even in like a competitive kind of way, but it's just like, you know, it's so inspiring. Again, it's like you're just catching fire. Everyone's catching each other's fire. And it's just like, I feel like I did the 60K really quickly. Like I blew my mind with that. And then it was just like, well, what else can I do? Like, let's just keep going, you know? And, you know, everyone's just encouraging. And it's just like, you know, my God, it just completely stretched my belief in what I thought I could do. Not only monetarily, but just energetically. And I'm so much more of a confident person in my day-to-day today than I was when I started Play Big. Because now I'm like, oh, I could do are you kidding me? Do anything. And I always felt like that before, but it's just like, it's like a new level of confidence.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like I'm blowing my own mind, and I'm just like, wow, like, okay.
You've normalized it, right? You've normalized that, oh, I do what I say I'm going to do.
Yes, absolutely.
Period.
And I remember there was a week where I was kind of having a moment, and you were like, who can stop you from doing what you say you're going to do? And I was like, nobody. And you were like, yeah. And I was like, she's right. Like, you know, just those little reminders sometimes, because we don't often remember our own greatness in certain moments. So just having someone to remind you, like, no, like you are exceptional. You know, you're not an average person. Having someone remind you of that, when so much of what we hear growing up is to humble yourself, and that's unrealistic. To have someone be like, no, you're exceptional. Of course you're going to do that. It's already done. Having that every single day and every week and in our check-ins was absolutely amazing, because I really feel like I'm in a space where, of course, there's more growth that's going to happen and more amazing things that are going to come. But I feel like I'm like really scratching the surface of who I know I've always been called to be, because I've always seen myself living a certain way and serving people. And, you know, also, you know, being able to reward myself for certain things. And, you know, now it's just like, okay, like, you know, we're here, like there's more to come, more doors to open, more success to come, more lives to transform. But it's like, oh, I'm here. I am on this path, and I feel good about it. I feel confident about it. And it's so exciting. So exciting. Like, I am different as a woman, period. Since working.
I love to hear it. Love to hear it. So I'm just going to say the next round of Play Big starts in July. There's only 4 more spots available. So people have already been snapping up spots all this week.
If y'all don't get in this thing, I swear to God.
We sold 7 seats this weekend. I haven't even publicly started talking about it yet. So it typically will fill up before I even go public with it. So if you're feeling called, you want to reach out and get yourself on my calendar, or just message me, because there's only 4 spots left. Jheanelle, first of all, everybody who's watching, we are going to celebrate this woman and her deity energy and her badassness and everything that she's created so far this year. And we're going to celebrate everything that's to come, because there's a ripple effect to this thing. There's a ripple effect to her family and her children. There's a ripple effect for generations to come. There's a ripple effect to her clients. There is a ripple effect to this thing. So I want to take a moment and just celebrate the heck out of you and all of this expansion and goodness and everything that you are doing.
Determined to make me cry. I was like, I'm not going to cry on here.
So good. This is
Yeah.
just the beginning, and I'm so grateful to you for being open and willing to share your journey, because Shamika could talk all day.
Yeah.
But until they hear it from people who have done it, and from people like you who are willing to share what it's really like, then they don't really know what's possible. And so
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And yeah, you all do and go where you know you're called to go, no matter what you have experienced before. Trust me, I've been through all the hardships, all the things, failed at a lot. And, the only thing to do is not quit. But if you can have someone like Shamika in your corner to, hold your hand along the way, as powerful as you are, you're unstoppable.
Beautifully said. All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate you. Jhenelle's going to wipe her tears while she's looking at all your congratulations and helping her to celebrate her wins, because we don't do that either. We don't allow ourselves to sit in what we create. And so I refuse to let a moment go by without you recognizing you did some badass stuff, girl.
Yeah, I'm tearing up too, because I'm thinking about the awards that I got in Play Big. And I remember being like, I'm just a mom. Like, I was literally like folding my kids' laundry. And you were like, you did this and you did that. And I was just like, me? But yeah, it's not even really about the money. It's just seeing what you can do and realizing that if you can do it in this space, you can do it in any capacity in your life. You can have, create, be anything that you desire.
Beautifully stated. Thank you again. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.